Welcome to the Panic Button, everyone. I'm Nina.
I am here, and you're there, and aren't we friends?
We are.
I'm Jessie.
Lillytino, once again. Surprise, surprise.
Nick Contino.
Nick Contino, yes. He was asked a question on TikTok, and the answer won't surprise you. Let's read this. The comment says, when do you think someone trans should disclose the fact when they are dating? On app, before sex, etc.
I know a trans woman who has had her downstairs done, and she's told me about dates that she's gone on with men. With these men, she has done everything that there is to do, and the men didn't know. First and foremost, that is a testament to modern medicine that it's even possible for that to happen. But it's also an interesting quandary because at that point, what are you even really disclosing? What is there to disclose? There's no deception. When you're dating someone, you don't have to disclose every single thing about yourself up front. That's the fun of it. You get to.
Can we say RAPEY? Very?
It's definitely misleading at the very least.
It's not actually giving consent if you don't know the sex of the person that you're having sex with.
You are lying, though, because you don't know, like, as a straight man having sex with a straight woman, you don't know if you can get them pregnant. If there's no chance of getting them pregnant, that's something that you'd want to disclose, right?
I think a man has a right to know if he's having sex with a biological man or not. I mean, this is how trans women back in the day got hurt.
I also don't think
it's so dangerous. Why would you be pushing this?
I don't think that it's fair to say that, like, no men can tell the difference between a surgical vagina and a, like, natural vagina. Because just because the few dates that this person had said they couldn't tell or said they didn't know doesn't mean they didn't. And it doesn't mean that it's okay, and it doesn't mean that there's nothing to share with people. Imagine you're taking someone's sexuality into your own hands.
So here's why I don't believe this. Or else the guy that was having sex with the trans person was completely drunk. A woman's hoo-ha is different than a man's neo-vagina. See,
right.
One has self-lubrication and the other doesn't. Mm-hmm. So how did the man not know?
But I think a lot of them are anal, like, interactions still.
Okay.
And they're like,
but he's talking about the neo-vagina.
Yeah, but I don't think that that's what they used. I think that's where the lie is. I think that they had butt stuff happen. And so in that situation, you do need lubricant. And in that situation, you could probably move from the butthole to the neo-vagina with that, setup.
Right, but the neo-vagina is only so deep as well.
These guys are probably drunk when they're interacting with them. Or they're just desperate and don't care. Or it's going to be a one-night kind of thing, so they do it because they want to see if they like it. And because they're open-minded like that, you know what I mean? Like, and so this is the thing. You think that they don't notice the difference.
Maybe they're lying?
They're probably lying.
In denial. They don't want to admit they're gay, but what they're doing is a gay act.
Yeah, they're testing the waters because unfortunately in today's 2025, you've been misled to believe that these people are women. And so you're testing if you believe they're women. It's not, and that's the unfortunate thing
sexually.
If you find them to be women. Yeah, and because at the end of the day, that's a personal.
But don't you have the right to know?
You should. You should have the right to know. But at the end of the day, it's them figuring out, just like we had to figure out we were lesbians, it's them figuring out if they're into trans women or not.
I could imagine if I'm a man, and for some reason my retarded brain didn't know that I was having sex with a man, and then you find out, and you see online that these trans women are like giggling snarkily about it. Like, he didn't know, but because I've seen that. I've seen trans women on TikTok and stuff being like, ooh, I didn't tell
the
him,
wiser.
And he didn't know. And it's like, this is how you guys
get killed,
physically assaulted, and unalived and stuff like that.
Unalived.
Why you would be pushing this or snarkily talking like this online is beyond me.
Congratulations. You blurred someone's lines of consent. Congratulations.
Hashtag Me Too. I wonder if there's going to be a hashtag Me Too part 2, but for all the men who were played by these trans women.
And women.
They're women.
And women. Lesbians.
You think I've never heard of a story of a lesbian like accidentally sleeping with a trans man and
What
not.
do you mean?
I mean,
We were just listening to that one
a
guy.
trans woman and not knowing that it was actually a man.
Yeah, but they still get misled to believe that these are going to be masculine people. You know what I mean?
A
Like
lesbian.
it's a misleading thing regardless. In all situations, to be like, I am a man or I am a woman, when you don't have the functional parts either way. You're never going to be able to perform without a penis pump, from what I understand, with a neo-phallus, or what do they call it?
Yeah, pretty much is what you call them.
Yeah. And you're not going to be able to naturally lubricate for penetration with a neo-vagina.
Right.
So none of the acts that are required to begin the fertilization of an egg. We're not talking about the fact that you could carry one or couldn't produce one. Those are the bare minimum requirements to begin to recreate.
I just realized something. Maybe the reason why you don't see a lot of trans women bragging online that they fooled lesbians into sleeping with them is because that would come across as very rapey. Right? It would. But
Also,
a lot of people think, that you can't rape a man.
well, I was going to say that you don't hear them talking about fooling women because women know what the vagina they have looked like.
Exactly.
Whereas men who are either young and dumb or trying new things would be like, oh, well, I knew
Or
it would
drunk.
look, I knew it'd look different, or I don't care what it looks like. It feels decent to me. You know, like those are the kind of thoughts that go through their heads
Yeah.
in those situations. So like, they're lying to you,
It's just,
and it's creepy.
I mean, let's talk about consent for a second. They didn't. They don't care about consent.
Clearly,
And obviously you don't care about your safety either.
because once they find out, you're
You better hope he's a very open-minded individual.
right.
Fun of it. You get to learn about someone new. If you're in a relationship with someone for long enough, of course it's going to come up, probably sooner rather than later. When you trust someone, you can tell them. I personally put it on.
Wait, what? Whoa. If you trust, where's the trust? You're starting out with a fucking lie. There's no trust there. How could you trust someone when they started out this relationship with a lie? Oh, and then you find out 6 months into your relationship that they're a woman? Like, that's a fucking lie.
What if this person has every intention of starting a natural family and doesn't really want to adopt, and like they're the only child, so they really want to continue their bloodline, and now they found out that the person that they thought they were going to marry, who was a woman, or thought they could start a life with, can't even kind of conceive children because they have male chromosomes and probably a penis still. I just
Either
think
way,
fucked.
it's most of the time it's going to end badly.
But it's still fucked up, you know?
It is so messed up.
Talk about a fucking heartbreaking kind of thing to find out.
Oh my God. I mean, you're making your people
Yeah.
look really, really not good.
And it sucks because like there are genuinely cases where open-minded people would go out with someone not exactly like Lillytino, but someone who's a trans woman, right?
Uh-huh.
You have open-minded men who would see you for what you want yourself to be seen as.
Yeah.
But because you choose to not tell them the truth, they're scared to even approach you. They're scared to even begin a relationship with someone like you because you're hiding so much shit. But if you were just upfront, there are so many open-minded people today that they'd probably just be like, you know what? What's one coffee? You know?
Maybe that's what turns them on is the men not knowing. You think about that?
That's what I think it really is, because like I said, it's hard to find another lesbian, but you still managed, didn't you?
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah.
So there's obviously a field for them to be dating, and also it's the fact that you're lying. That's what's stopping you from getting dates.
They're doing it on purpose.
It's not the fact. It's not even the fact that you're fake trans or an AGP trans or whatever the fuck you want to be. You could get dates. You've had dates. You've made content with other OnlyFans creators. It's the fact that you lie to people. That's why nobody wants to be with you.
Put it on my dating profile, but not everyone does, and that's okay. Our transness is not the only thing that defines us. I'm currently in electrolysis. You can't.
Oh my God, sexuality defines your sexuality. Sex is in the word sexuality. You're pretty much saying fuck sexuality. You don't need to know what I am. Well, you don't really give a shit about the other person now, do you? Because you only care about yourself in this situation because you don't want them to know when you're lying to them, and that doesn't sound like a very healthy start to a relationship. Oh my God, you're absolutely an awful person if you do that. I don't agree with this at all.
Life is not a Hallmark movie. You can't come in with some baggage and then magically he's going to be like, I can fix it. Don't worry. I love you forever. Let's get married. That's not how it goes.
I love you for who you are, even though you lied to me from the freaking start.
No, life isn't a Hallmark movie. It doesn't work like that.
No.
It's not those weird Christmas movies or anything like that either.
No.
See it, but I'm getting zapped follicle by follicle. It is deeply painful. I do this every single week for multiple hours. For anyone who's interested in switching from a blank to a blank, this is what it takes. So yes, I am going to do it, and I'm very excited about it. I've always been interested in women, but when I did transition, I became more open to dating a non-binary person, specifically a feminine non-binary person, because not all non-binary people are androgynous.
AGP, didn't we call it? Didn't we call
Wants
it
a vagina.
autogynephile? Wait, so he'll date a non-binary person that appears feminine but has penis?
I used to only like women. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah.
I used to only like women.
Now I like
and now I like women and women who say they're non-binary.
Okay, so you're an autogynephile. You're a dude who gets turned on by this shit and you want to sleep with,
Anyone.
he thinks lesbians.
Yeah. Any female.
Any female.
Regardless of how you identify.
So a straight woman
Yep.
who likes her man without his testicles. And
And in
dressing
pigtails.
like this, and dressing like little girls, and being obnoxious to waiters and shit. Oh my God, I don't understand why people would date you if this is your representation. This is your representation. People are going to have a very bad outlook on the entirety of trans women because of people like this, touting this kind of rapey shit.
Well, thank you, Nick, for showing everyone why they're still scared of trans people.
And why they will continue to dislike you.
And more trans people because this is what you show them. Specifically trans women. Yeah, because they all seem like this now. Disgusting.
Why
is there
would
more
you-
to this?
No, thank God.
Right.
Why oh my God.
Yeah, me too.
I have,
Questions, but none.
I don't know. No.
Yeah.
There's nothing that I can ask that I don't have the answer to when it comes to this stuff. It's just so evil.
Perverted.
You know, it's evil.
Perverted.
But this is actually, you're
Bad.
not even, they can't even give consent because they don't even know what they're having sex with. They think they're having sex with something that they're not, and you're not telling them, that's evil. You're lying.
Yeah.
Oh my
You're
God.
taking someone else's sexuality into your hands.
Yeah. Yeah, you're saying, well, accept me for who I am.
And if you don't, I'm going to lie to you anyway, so you're going to have to.
Accept me for who I am, but I'm going to pretend like I'm not who I am. And then I'm going to lie to you. And your straightness, well, that's down the toilet. You thought you were straight. Well, guess what? You're not. You're actually bi because you f***ed a dude. Do you know what that would do to someone's psyche?
Do you think that
What the fuck?
do you give them a pass to stay straight?
That's when the rape thing comes in. Because if you're a straight man
And you didn't know. Like, if you're too ignorant to know the difference and someone does that to you, I would say that doesn't like obviously your sexuality hasn't been tampered with unless you get like a weird itch to have sex with more trannies.
But you're saying I don't respect your sexuality, but you have to respect my
chosen gender.
yeah, which you don't know about because I'm lying to you about it. I mean, this just goes
Right.
into so many
The
devious.
territories.
Oh my God! You know what? Trans women, y'all better start speaking out about people like this because shit going down for you right now, and it's going to continue going down unless you stop and silence or speak louder than these rapey guys.
You just gotta keep calling him out, man. I mean, I know
You
people
gotta
are
speak
tired.
louder than these motherfuckers.
I know
though.
people are tired of seeing the like videos of Nick Contino.
But he is perfect representation for them.
But
for their
that's the
community.
thing is, and people like us need to speak out because he's trying to represent our side of the community too. So we need to speak out because he's trying to call himself a lesbian, and they need to speak out because he's calling himself trans, and they need to show that's not what like all trans people are about.
What they want to do is for sexuality to not be a thing.
Yeah.
For everything to be fluid and for lesbians to
Well,
not
no.
actually exist unless it includes penises.
No, their sexuality can be a thing.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
our
I forgot.
sexuality can't.
Okay, yeah, so f*** us, even though we're starting in the acronym, lesbians and gays, f*** us, but we have to respect you. Okay, well, You give respect, you receive respect. You can't just demand it
respect,
or
yeah.
trick people into it.
Yeah, you're definitely not going to keep respect that way.
No. And you want to talk about losing rights? This shit will make you lose all of your rights.
Well, yeah, because that's what happens when you commit a crime. You lose your rights.
Right. And I don't want our rights to go down the tube because of fucking people like this.
Well, yeah.
Gay rights, I don't want that's why I don't want the LGs to be anywhere near the fucking T's, because this is the kind of shit that the crazy Christians were talking about in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, saying that we would be doing crazy shit like this and the thing with the kids. And it's like, no, we are not a part of this. No.
I feel really bad for the poor open-minded baby lesbians, the ones that are like 18, 19 years old coming out.
Yeah, you get these creepy men coming in being like, I'm a lesbian too, sleep with me or you're a bigot.
And they're so open-minded, then that's the problem.
Yeah,
that
and then
so
like
many
later
of them,
on in life.
so many of them are going to sleep with these people because they're so open-minded that it's going to like destroy
mess with
lesbians
them later on in life and make them all fucked up in the head, not knowing who the fuck they are and being like, well, I can't admit that I was like
Sexually
coerced into having
coerced,
sex with someone I didn't want to have sex with, or else like shaming them into having sex with them. So, oh my God, I can
It's like
only
a power
admit.
struggle.
You know what? Stop sleeping with people unless you disclose who the fuck you are.
Amen to that. That should be like something you learn when you're in high school. Like generally, like you should know someone's name, address, and their health records before you start fucking.
Then again,
We don't.
if you're willing to put your penis into something and you don't know what it is
or where it came from,
or where it came from, you don't really know that person.
you kind of have whatever's coming to you.
I wouldn't say that, but I would say
If you're blindly sticking your penis in a hole, then yeah, you kind of deserve whatever's on the. If you're going to a glory hole and sticking your penis in, and then surprised,
yeah,
and then
I get
surprised that a
I get
man
that.
sucked it.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean.
I mean, if you're like dating someone, he's like
Well,
talking
yes.
about dating people
We're
and then
talking about
sleeping
people,
with them.
We're talking about people hooking up and just sticking their penis in anything, not knowing your name or address or anything. But a first date is not the same.
First,
That's
second,
not someone
third,
shacking up right
sleeping with
away.
them.
You have a date first. I'm talking about shacking up. People do that all the time. People hook up at the club or the bar or whatever, and they barely know each other. And in those situations, yeah, I don't care if you f***ed a dude. That's your mistake. You should have evaluated better. If you're on a date with someone, it's different than just hooking up with someone randomly, because then you're supposed to get to know them, not just like f***ing them. A lot of people just f*** these days. That's the problem.
A lot of
Men, especially.
men, yeah.
And women, though. The fact is that
Yeah, but
women are doing it too.
Yeah, but a woman is not going to have sex with a trans man and be like, oh, that's definitely a penis.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? I think we're definitely just referring to the men in this situation and their desire to stick it in anything.
A hole that says it's a woman.
Right. Now, let's talk about the AIDS thing, right?
Well, they have medications these days to help.
It doesn't matter.
I'm just saying they have
It
medication
doesn't
to help
freaking
these
matter.
days.
When you stick your, I'm sorry, I don't know what it's like to be a guy and be a slutty guy, sticking your penis in whatever it is. But if you find out you stuck your penis in a gay man and you didn't know about it, it's like, oh. And then you see these videos online of them being like, I don't disclose my HIV status. And it's like,
Terrifying.
oh my God, men, why are you sticking your penises in things that you like? What are you doing? And why are these people not telling you? And it's like, oh, I thought I was sticking my penis into something that could possibly get pregnant, but definitely doesn't have AIDS. And now it's like, oh, does this person have AIDS? Well, they didn't tell me that they were a man. So would they tell me that they have AIDS? No, probably not.
The problem that I think we're seeing is that sex has consequences and people don't think about that. And then there's people who won't let you know what consequences there could be. And there are people who will. It's not the same exactly, but it's almost the same as being lied about, like lying to someone about being on birth control.
Yeah. But then you also have to think about this as a trans woman who's pulling this okay? Men are inherently violent.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're tricking a man and he's got an issue with his sexuality, or he is stern in his sexuality and he finds out that he's been tricked or something like that.
And you might have been at a bar or something and he's been drinking.
Yeah, okay. Now you have a violent man on your hands.
And he's under some kind of influence usually because you're on a date, so you're probably having a drink, and so he's probably feeling a little handsy, and then he gets, in that situation, he gets mad.
Or even what if he finds out later on, after you've already slept together? Okay, how do you think that's going to go?
Not well.
Not very well. Anyway, like and subscribe, comment below what your opinions are of this.
What would you do?
If you were tricked, could you be tricked? Do you think these guys are tricked?
I don't think I could, like if they were like super, super, super passive, they'd have to be a very small in stature male who was passing extremely well. And the second we got in the bedroom, I'd be like, "Ah, I figured it out." You know what I mean? You tricked me really far, you bastard. How far do you think you'd get?
That would never happen.
I feel like I'd know well in advance. I'm just saying, like, I'd be very surprised if it got to the bedroom. I'd be like, "Whoa, holy shit."
I don't just randomly sleep with people. I make sure that I know who they are before I even get into a relationship with them. So
I don't
that's
really
never
either.
going to happen.
Yeah.
So
well,
yeah,
so never breaking up.
there you go. Have a good one, everyone.
Follow